Let's see if this is on. Hi. Oh my goodness. Look at all of you. You are on time. I am going to see. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yay. Okay, good. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Serafina. Hi, Thomas. Did you get my text, Thomas? I just want to make sure I'm organized. Are you guys feeling spring? Hi, Sim. Hi, Sean in Houston. Hi, Sherilyn. Hi, Kathy. Okay, great. Hi, Monica. So tonight we have a very special guest, Tamari, who is going to do our astrology by sign for the next couple weeks. We're very excited about that. Happy spring, everyone. It is the season of renewal. It is the season of rebirth. It is the season of possibility and hope. It is also the very beginning of the astrology chart. So it's the new year for astrology now, and Pisces is over. Now we move into Aries, which is the first sign in the zodiac. So we are in a lot of new beginnings right now. And so I really want each of you to focus on beginning to speak the new language of your dreams and the new language of what you want to accomplish. And so we're going to do a little exercise on that tonight before Tamari comes on to do our astrology. And so I am so grateful that you're all here. Thank you for joining me. Happy March 22nd. It is 22 is my lucky number. In my numerology, it is my personality number, and 22s are a power number. And if you ever notice, I put everything pretty much in 22s and 44s and 66s, and I love the multiplication of the 11s, and that's just, it's not just a new age thing, it's actually also a powerful thing in numerology. And numerology is based on the science of numbers and the vibration of those numbers. So we are not only in March, where we are focused on the throat chakra and the throat tea quintessence, which I think that you guys have had some great feedback on. So I'm so happy that you are enjoying quintessence. It is, I've heard you liken it to like an apple pie. And for me, I love the vanilla notes and the ginger and the lemongrass. I just find it to be very soothing. And I've been drinking it on ice through the weekend as we've been in spring here, and the sun has been out after the rains. And I just want to also remind you that it is also very helpful for the digestive tract. Marshmallow root, if you have any issues with being plugged up, I know this isn't necessarily the most, flowery thing to be talking about, but marshmallow root is made to help you eliminate. And so not only is it protective for your throat and your esophagus and your stomach lining and your intestinal lining, it's also been proven to help all of that and to soothe basically the mucosal lining of your digestive tract, starting at the mouth all the way through to completion point, all the way through to the root chakra. So just note that if you drink a ton of it, you might have a little bit of that effect. So I want you all to be aware that you can also drink that tea for that as well. So a little bit of housekeeping. Yes, the book club is sold out. We limited it to 100 people this time, and only because I want to learn how to do a book club virtually. I've never done it before, so I want to ensure that we don't mess up and on too many of you at once. So the first 100 of you that signed up, thank you. We will be the ones that take the maiden voyage into the sea of book club land for our magic hour. But we will have another book club in June, and it's not going to be such a transformational book. It's going to be beautiful, though. I've already chosen the book since we spoke this morning, Thomas, in our morning meeting. I already picked out which book we're going to read, and I'm very excited about it. So excited about it. So I think we'll do a book club every 3 months. And then the cleanse, the Earth Magic Cleanse, which I've been working on all weekend for you. And I'll be working on all week to complete the beautiful teachings. The Earth Magic Cleanse is not sold out. And the teas that I have sourced for that are teas from mountain regions, ocean, coastal regions, valleys, caves. It's all the terrains of Mother Earth. And so you can taste different styles and different flavors of different types of terroirs, which is the region where the tea is grown. So we have some really beautiful Sencha Kyoto from the Kyoto region of Japan. I was able to source really spectacular, I don't want to give away too much, but we have plenty of those kits left, and I was able to source my favorite Formosa oolong. It is really expensive. It's like $400 a pound, but you'll get a little bit. And so I kind of went all out. So the grab bag version of the tea cleanse is sort of an adventure for your palate and tea. So that's the $99 version of it. And you will get, I'm looking at 12 teas. It says 8 to 12, but I'm looking at 12 unique teas that are going to be spectacular. A party in your mouth and a cleanse, to be sure. We're going to be very focused on earthing. We'll be very focused on meditating in nature. I have some exciting videos planned for you. We'll be very focused on how Mother Earth can heal us if we simply rely on her and allow her to enter us and to heal our cellular structure. Because yes, we are made of stardust that came off of Mother Earth, and eventually we were formed into these miraculous bodies and this miraculous human experience through the body, which is what we celebrate in Tea Ceremony, which is becoming alive in our senses so that our presence may awaken. And as my teacher, Greg, my guru, not my guru, no gurus, my teacher slash therapist says, presence is heaven and nowness is heaven, meaning the more present we can be and loving ourselves in the moment. And he's really taught me over the last 6 months how to do that. I didn't realize how little I loved myself and how little I was willing to care for me and love me, even though I was doing all these things for my kids and others. And so we're really going to be centering in on caring for self. And that's what tonight is about. That's what Mystic Mondays and Tea Tuesdays and Saturday Sips, all events that we do are to help you connect to yourself and to your soul, to love yourself more deeply. Because when you love you, the rest is easy. When you love yourself and you give yourself time and you do so guilt-free and shame-free, then everything else is going to come into play in a more natural and relaxed way. If we took care of ourselves, if we loved ourselves deeply, we, by nature of our higher vibration, would absolutely heal and transform the world. And that would be focusing on the self versus focusing on trying to fix and control the rest of the world, which God knows I tried. I thought that I was going to fix global warming and end poverty and this and that. And what I realized is the more deeply I became in tune and in love with my nature and with who I am, the more able I was to generate more positivity in the world by nature of having a glass that was very, very full, a glass of my own that was very, very full. Okay. So enough small talk, my friends. I'm going to start the ceremony now. I will move this aside, and then at 5:25, we have beautiful Tamari joining. She and Rachel Lang are my favorite astrologers. They are succinct, they are clear, they are passionate, and Rachel Lang is joining us for the salutation box. She is our solar plexus teacher. All right, so let us begin. I'm just going to move my little chair aside. We will enter the space of the. So as you become closer and closer to tea ceremony, as you become more and more comfortable with it and more in tune with it, what you'll notice is you'll find that you'll want to create a beautiful space for yourself. And if you live in a small space, which you guys may know that I have a family home with my husband, who's the love of my life. And we're about to have our anniversary on April 9th. We were married in our tea field in Sri Lanka. The tea workers threw our wedding. But one thing that happened during COVID is I realized I needed more space for me. And that was the beginning really of my self-love journey. And so I was able to get an office that has a live workspace, and that's my test kitchen and also my tea ceremony room now. So I created the ultimate situation where I created a not only a room of my own, but I call it a townhome of my own. And the kitchen is where I formulate everything, and I have so much fun for you. You are my muses, I create for you. So tonight I'm cheating a little bit. I'm having next month's Happy Heart tea. This is a moringa almond matcha. I'm not supposed to expose this yet, but because you're here with me, we're doing it. And I don't know if you've had moringa yet, but moringa is fabulous for skin. It's fabulous for collagen production and healing. It's fabulous for immune system, for digestion. It's high in quercetin, which is anti-inflammatory. So it's also really good for allergies. And I blended this with green tea and matcha and almonds for a happy heart, as well as some hazelnut and some yummy extracts. So it makes it taste like a dessert. And if you like the almond matcha, you'll really love this tea. This tea has, but this tea has no stevia, and it's got a really rich mouthfeel. It's very creamy. Moringa is high in iron and protein, but it also has this gorgeous creamy mouthfeel that just fills the mouth and makes it taste like a dessert. So as we pour the water, center into your body, center into the space around you. Gather, take back all the thoughts, all the ideas, all the little strings that are attached to you or other people from the day. Anything you may have said or spoken that you want to have a redo, anything that wasn't said that you'd like to redo. And I'm going to do the throat chakra, because even though I'm having the heart chakra tea, because I'm a cheetah, I am going to play you the throat chakra bowl. And this is the G note. Pamela's on here. Pamela's a professional sound bowl player. I am not. I just do it because I love it. So Pamela will have to come play for you sometime, my loves. I'm not going to steep this very long, otherwise I won't sleep very well tonight. So I'm going to take this out now. And always ensure when you do tea ceremony that you light a candle, you have a flower, something around you, and that you're in the sacred space. And now I'm going to pour in my cup. I'm actually going to rinse the rim of the cup as well with the tea. I'm also going to offer a little bit of tea to my grandmother Maria, who taught me herbal medicine. I'm going to offer to my Aunt Zhena, my great Aunt Zhena, who stayed in Ukraine. I'm going to offer some to each of you. I'm going to offer some to my mom, who just had heart surgery on Friday, very successful heart surgery. Now bring your cup to your chest. And take your first big heart breath. Breathe into your heart and fill your cup with that beautiful emerald green light. that is in the heart chakra, and exhale. Take your second heart breath and fill not only your cup with the green emerald light, but fill the room and the space around you with that light. The bigger and brighter your true intelligence through the heart, the easier everything else is. And exhale. And with the third heart breath, I'd like you not only to fill your cup, but to fill the room and then fill the space of your living quarters, and then fill and see if you can touch the sun or the moon, depending on if it's day or night. Inhale deeply. And the breath can go all the way to the root chakra, but we want to fill the heart and we want to expand the heart chakra energy, the true intelligence of your being, the synthesizer of the higher chakras and the lower chakras, the source of love, the seat of Christ consciousness. And exhale. Now as we feel ourselves more and more present, we enter into our senses. And I use the senses as a form of tea ceremony so that you remember you are a spirit, a soul, inhabiting this physical form for a short amount of time. And your senses are how divinity speaks to you. It's how the earth communicates with you. It's how you feel aliveness and beingness in present moment time. And so ask yourself now, what do I hear? What do I hear? And truly listen. Start to discern between hearing, which is passive, and listening, which is active. Now ask yourself, what do I see? I see kids riding their bike and laughing. I love it. I love it. What do you see? I see blue skies. I see a tea ceremony. What do I see? I see this green tea about to nurture me. And then ask yourself, what do I feel? And it can be an emotion or it can be a sensation, but I prefer to get into the sensation as much as possible. Sensation, cold, hot, tight, loose. Get into the sensation and name it. And in the spring cleanse, I'm going to teach you a sensation meditation. That is the one I use. And I can teach it to you here too if you can't join the cleanse. Then ask yourself, what do I smell? Really one of my favorite senses. Oh, the sense of smell. What do I smell? And really work to the top note, the mid note, the bass note. You really want to work to understand the sense of smell in all of the notes. And then finally solidify your senses through your sense of taste and ask yourself, what do I taste? What do I taste? I taste some good tea. I want more. So 2 weeks ago, we started talking about what we are speaking that we no longer want to be living. What are we speaking that we no longer want to be living? And words are a form of matter. Words are a form of creation. They have a very firm vibration. They enter the room around you and they change the waves of energy on how the universe can reflect back to you. They form your reality. They form your reality. And for a long time, I bonded with others through speaking words of limitation, through putting myself down, or through denying, I was smart, or whatever it was, I was connecting to others through through limiting and shrinking of myself, because I was raised in an environment where it was safer to not be a big personality, or as the brothers Karen mentioned 2 weeks ago, a tall poppy, right? And well, very short but loud poppy in my case. So, you know, speaking and expressing, it would be, oh, Zhena, be quiet, or you talk too much, or stop, you know, you shouldn't say that, or no, you don't deserve that. And there was always a hard stop on when I would be expressing from a state of free speech, really, of freedom, of enthusiasm welling up into my being and speaking in the world. So what happened was that enthusiasm, and enthusiasm is my superpower, but enthuse is to be filled with God, right? So when we're enthusiastic, some people can think that that's egotistical, or that that's over exuberant, or that it's inflated somehow. But as a child, or as those of us, when we're enthusiastic about something, it means we are filled with God. We are filled from the divine. We are right? We're having this state of awe. And to express that is to create, you know, a reality. So when first there was the word. So when we speak something, we create a reflection and we create a vibration. And by the time we've spoken it, we've already thought it. So it's already solidified enough to become a thought. And as we know, thoughts do become things. And if you think a thought repeatedly, and if you say something repeatedly, you will create the vibration of it. And that vibration is where you will live. And so when I had my throat tumor a couple years ago, I was speaking from words of suffering, speaking from a place of not, of putting, you know, making things seem worse than they really were, because in that place I was safe. I wouldn't get my company taken away from me again, or I wouldn't, you know, get bullied by the Wall Street guys again, or I wouldn't make myself a target somehow. And what that created was that created more reasons to live suffering. It created a false sense of suffering, a suffering that I felt obligated to. And so words that you use that you no longer want to live this is an ongoing meditation, but speaking from a place of, you know, I make fun of myself that I'm disorganized, or I make fun of myself that my emails are a mess. We've been on that all day today. But at the same time, you know, that's in jest, that's a lightness. But when you're really putting yourself down, or you're really making yourself small, or speaking words that you no longer want to live, that's a form of control. And that's a falsehood. When you're trying to control your exuberance or enthusiasm, when you're trying to change what you really want to say, that's the ego forming, you know, forming a veil around you, or a protective device around you. And as my teacher Greg says, the ego doesn't want to saw off the branch it's sitting on, which is where you've always been. So by staying stagnant, or staying in a form of suffering, or staying in a form of smallness, it's a safe place only because it's not really safe. It's the worst place, but it's a safe place only because it's known, or because it's keeping you from really taking the risk that might really put you out there. And we're not scared so much of our failures. We're scared more of our successes. It's very scary to realize you're capable of a heck of a lot more than you've been doing, or a heck of a lot more than you've ever thought was possible for your life. It's more scary to realize you're capable than it is that you might be incapable. And most of us are more fearful of being highly successful, because what if we get everything we want? Every wish we've ever had, what if it was achieved or received? Then what? What would we possibly do then with all the time, with all the energy, with all the goodness? It might be too much. And we're used to dealing with not enough, because that's what all of the culture, as my teacher says, is telling us. We're not enough, buy this, we're not enough, wear that, we're not enough, get this facelift, or get this Botox, or get this, or do this color on your hair, or do this, right? So not enoughness is our safe place. but it's a death place. It's a place where the soul will die. It's a place where we can never be the children of God in our full exuberance and enthusiasm. And so what you speak, you create. So I really, really want you to be mindful because I have had to work on this a lot. I used to gossip as a form of connecting until my therapist said that gossip was from a disconnected, emotionally disconnected childhood that we connect through things because we are not necessarily connected as children. So when we speak words of harm or of smallness or of suffering or of keeping ourselves in a box, it's not necessarily how we want to live, but somehow it paid off in the past. So we have our beautiful Tamari who just joined us. Tamari, how about you? What words have you spoken in the past, or what words have you spoken that you really just are done living? You're just not going to have them anymore. Oh, let me make sure you're. I have to disconnect my. I can't hear you, Angel. I have to disconnect this.
I think I unmuted too.
Okay, you're not muted. Oh, I'm gonna get close to your beautiful face. Okay.
Setup. I love everything about your setup. Oh.
Hi.
Hi. I joined at the right time. You know what? I'm actually on another journey to move to the next level and move past old limitations. So telling myself I'm not ready for something.
Oh, that's a big one. I'm not ready. Ooh, I got chills in my knees. That's so true.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us do that. We'll say, when I get here, when I achieve this, when I get this, and then I'll be ready. And you'll never be ready. You don't even know if tomorrow's guaranteed. So you're ready now. And if you're not, you'll figure it out along the way. So yes.
Amen.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you, Tamari. Everyone knew you were coming. We're so grateful that you're here, and such a joy to have you join us and share your awesome astrology wisdom. We're in the astrological new year, correct?
Yes, we are, and I'm super stoked. I feel like more people are kind of getting aware of this every year, and to me, this is the real new year. And when you think about astrology, right? Whether you believe or not. And I'm so passionate about this. My dad,
Me
he was an
too.
Egyptologist. And so my name is
Wait, your
named
dad was a what?
Egyptologist and an architect, and he named me after ancient Egypt. Well, Tamari is the ancient name for Egypt, and so is Kemet. And so when I think about, like, it's so much bigger when I think about a whole civilization was really built on astronomy and geography, like topographical, geographical, astronomical. Their whole society was built on that because the sun rises and sets at a certain time. The life is about cycles and it's about nature. And so I was thinking about this as before I logged in, and how important that is just for all of us to connect with that and get back to living our life connected to nature. And so when you think about the equinox, it's so much bigger than it's just spring, right?
Yeah.
Because the sun, it takes a journey like we take a journey, and it's our life force. And so as the sun's on its journey, and basically it's on the ecliptic, it's on its path, and it crosses with the equator. And then that's the tropical zodiac, 0 degrees Aries, right? And so Aries is about fresh starts. And so this idea of spring and rebirth, and even Easter for Christians out there, and how Easter is picked after it's the first full moon after the spring equinox, the first Sunday after the first full moon. And this idea of rebirth and resurrection. And even though it's spring only in the north, it's fall in the south. That feels more in line with a fresh start than dead winter, right? When we actually have the real new year, or even summer in the southern hemisphere when people are at the beach in Australia, like they're not ready to start something new. But when we get to Aries season, it's like this is our time. And I was thinking about all of this. I'm like, this is why this time is so important for us to plant seeds and go after everything. And actually right now, all the planets are direct. So, I think a lot of people hear about Mercury retrograde, and, retrograde really kind of slows things down, and it's time for us to go inward. But all the planets are direct. We're in cardinal Aries energy, and cardinal signs are the signs that start things. So they're the signs associated with the four seasons. So that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And so it's about starting, it's about action. And then the fixed signs are when things are kind of the same, like when we're in the middle of the spring. And so that's Taurus, that's Leo, that's Scorpio, and that's Aquarius. And then when the seasons change again, that's the mutable. That's about being flexible. So when we go from, we went from Pisces season to Aries season, we went from winter to spring. That's Pisces, that's Gemini, that's Virgo, and that's Sagittarius. And so we all that energy is important for us. And so I think like, okay, how can we as a collective tune into that and make something happen in our lives, take action? Aries is ruled by Mars, and it's a cardinal sign. So we've all been thinking now's the time to act. And so I think for all of us, the message would be go after the things that you want during this equinox. And now there might be a time where it's not time to act, but now is the time, right?
For all the signs, right?
For all the signs. So it's
Okay.
about this, and we all have this, we have it differently showing up in our charts. And that's where a private reading is, helpful. But it's a time where we can get things moving. I think people, I feel it. I feel like people are moving right now.
Yeah.
Whether we should be or not, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
discussion.
Let's not get into discussions about whether or not you should get vaccinated, but
not going there.
But I've been vaccinated, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Oh, yay. So yeah, exactly. A fresh start, a fresh new. So it's time for us to like get moving, and I'm feeling it. And not only that, we have Venus in Aries now too. And Venus is about what we love. It's love, it's beauty, it's what we value. It's about being in harmony. And Venus isn't really comfortable in Aries because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is about fighting and action. But I really feel like it's a time for for people to go after what they value or what they want financially,
Yeah.
what they believe is beautiful, all those things associated with being in harmony, because Venus is a benefic in astrology, and benefics bless us. And so it's a time to use that like aggressive energy to kind of go after your blessings. That's just kind of how I see it. And kind of, if you're fighting, don't use it to fight with your partner, because that can be Venus and Aries too, or, to fight about romance, but it can be a time to fight for love, the flip side of that, fighting for love, making things last.
Absolutely. And fighting for what we love. I love also because our teas are biodynamic, so they're grown in harmony with the planetary motion. So when I go into the tea estates astrology office, they actually have one where they're saying, okay, prune on this day, and it's got like a Mars on it, or it's got, everything's done in planetary motion. So I always feel so connected to astrology. And I have a very exciting astrology project coming up that I'm going to get you in on. So do you want to do a quick one for each of us?
Yeah, let's do it.
The Tamari, like you're so good at this. You're going to end up coining like the speed reading.
So we not only have, we have this fresh new Aries energy and the Venus there. I'm kind of going to focus on that, but we also have the full moon on Sunday.
Yeah.
And the full moon's in Libra, and Libra is about partnership, and full moons are always, it's an opposition. So it's when, one planet is opposing the other, the sun and the moon, the both, masculine and feminine. And so we have to find balance. And I think for us, this is a perfect time to get in tune and find balance in our lives. And it's going to show up differently for every sign, right? So in terms of, I'll start with, I'm going to start backwards, because I feel like we always start with Aries, and Aries, even though it's your season, I feel like the signs at the end probably like, when are you getting around to my sign? I love, somebody said, can we change the word fighting to deliberate contention? Yeah, I like that. Fighting does seem kind of negative sometimes, but so we'll start with Pisces. So Pisces, Venus is in your second house. And so the second house is associated with finances, money, what we value. And so right now, as a water sign, as a mutable water sign, and this is Pisces, and if you know your rising sign, this would apply to you too, Pisces risings or even Pisces moons, you can listen to that. think about, get intentional with what you value in your life. And now's the time to kind of really go after that. Your resources might be increased. You might get help from somewhere, a blessing, especially since Venus naturally rules both your third and your eighth house. Those blessings can come in the form of like your neighbors, someone in your neighborhood, or it can just be a nice financial payout. I hope some of you guys get out of the blue. But
I'm sending more money to all of you
yeah,
immediately.
definitely. But it's about getting in touch. And Venus is considered to be exalted in the sign of Pisces itself. So I think this energy is really in tune with this sign and this energy. So it's about, and I feel like Pisces sometimes is a sign that doesn't do things for the money, but now's the time to ask for it. You know, we all need money. Money is, it's not negative. It's only what you do with it is negative. So don't be afraid to kind of ask for what you want, or accept your blessings as they come. Aquarius and Aquarius rising. So Aquarius is all about thoughts and ideals, and you know, how can you push the limit on your ideas? How can you be innovative? And so Venus in the third house is really kind of solidifying that. It's a time where, you know, creative ideas actually might come to you. And Venus rules your fourth house of home. So this might be actually in terms of like things changes in your home, literally. Some of you guys might have creative ideas that are connected with other lands or other cultures, or some of you are just thinking about increasing your knowledge and going after learning about things that bring you joy and pleasure. So that can be one of the ways this manifests, one of the ways this energy manifests as well. Capricorn and Capricorn rising. So Venus is in your fourth house right now. And the fourth house is associated with home and family. And so it's about getting connected to your roots. This could be a time where you really start to enjoy your family more. Capricorn's a sign that's usually associated with like super hard work and, you know, being ambitious, but, you know, and it rules the 10th house, but the fourth is the opposite. And the fourth is about our ancestry in our home. And that's equally important, right? Like if you have all this success, but you don't have like something to call your home, that doesn't really matter, the success. So the Venus there is kind of reinforcing this idea to like connect with your home, enjoy your home, make it beautiful, make it someplace that you're proud to be, even if you are working hard. So you can kind of work and bring some of that joy to your home life. And in Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, Venus is in your fifth house. And the fifth house is like one of the most fun houses in our chart. It's where it's connected to children, and children are about pure joy. It's connected to romance and dating and things that bring us pleasure, sports. And so with Venus there, it's now's the time to be joyful. And the sun is there too, kind of reinforcing that. And Venus naturally rules your sixth house of work and health. So it might be a time to actually connect to those things, and, you know, actually starting like a new workout routine might be good, since Venus rules the sixth house and it's in the fifth. So do something fun. Like if you're into boxing, that's a good way to channel the Venus and Aries energy because Mars is there. And so just have fun and be playful. Playful. I feel like that's kind of the energy. Scorpio and Scorpio rising. So Venus is in your sixth house, and the sixth house is about our daily routine. It rules pets, it rules service for others. And so when Venus is there, it actually is a good time where, again, your health can be a focus and you can be really working to optimize that. But it also just makes interactions on your day-to-day work life, like either with coworkers, on your commute, your routine. It's about bringing joy in those little things you do. I feel like tea ceremony is perfect for that. Like, you know, just finding a time within your day to bring this beauty and this routine to your life, to really amplify it and make it not just about I wake up, you know, I go on the computer. Like you can find little moments of joy in your day every day if you choose to. So I feel like this is kind of one of the messages for Scorpio and Scorpio rising. And then Libra and Libra rising. So you have this full moon going to happen in your first house on Sunday. And Venus is the ruler of your sign. So anything that Venus does is important. And right now it's in your seventh house with the sun and in the house of partnerships. And so you're really evaluating how you're showing up in your relationships. And this is not just romantic, this is with everyone. One of the messages that I've been getting lately is to trim the fat, like cut it sounds harsh, but Mars is about severing things too. And so Venus in Aries with that Mars influence, it's severing ties with people that don't serve you anymore, that aren't supposed to be on your path. And this is friends, romantic partners, business partners, because that energy is just going to hold you back. Life is about a journey, and sometimes everyone can't go on that journey with you. So I think a lot of Libra energy, especially with the full moon, because full moons are about completion, it will be about letting things go and people that are not serving you so that you can move to another level with people that do serve you now. Virgo and Virgo rising. So Venus is in your 8th house, and the 8th house is associated with like things that are taboo, things that we kind of don't. It's money with our partners, so resources that we might have with a business partner or money that we have tied up in a marriage. But it also rules like taxes and debts and credit cards and all those types of things. And so Venus naturally rules your 9th house and your second. So I feel like Virgo is a very efficient sign. Like that's one word. Even if you're a Virgo that doesn't identify with the whole perfectionist type of.
Thomas is a Virgo. He's definitely
Oh,
double Virgo.
okay. So yeah, I feel like some Virgos really lean into it, and some
He's
are
the
like,
cutest Virgo on the planet.
oh, okay, I love that. So I think this energy right now is about cleaning up like financial things and like getting efficient, which I feel like they'll enjoy because it's Venus. So like really like getting down, like I'm gonna do my spreadsheets and like getting like out of all that stuff.
Thomas is cleaning up the Dropbox, my 15 years with the Dropbox disasters. So yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's like really good energy for this. So I feel like Venus is going to help you be more efficient, and the sun there and all those things that we never want to do. So go get them, Virgos. um, Leo and Leo rising. So the Venus energy, the sun energy is in your 9th house of, long distance travel, foreign lands. It naturally rules your 10th house. Some of you are actually going to meet people that are going to help you in your career in some way and to help you make money in some way, which is always a blessing. Some of you are just going to maybe pivot or thinking about pivoting maybe to a more creative career. Leo is a sign that's associated with creativity and being bold and brave. And so I think for people that are not in alignment, this energy is really good, especially this fire energy, because Leo is a fire sign. It's really good to kind of shift you into where you should be, especially if you want to be doing something that's more creative in nature. Cancer and Cancer rising. So Venus and the sun, they're in your 10th house right now. And the 10th house is the highest point in our chart. It's what we want to do in the world. It's our career. It's like almost our destiny point in terms of, how our reputation. And so Cancer is not a sign associated with wanting to be the center of attention or, they're really connected to home and family. But right now is the time where you should take your recognition. I hope some of you get a promotion. I hope some of you, network with people that are going to kind of shift you into getting that promotion. But it's almost like your home life and your family life might feel like they're finally in harmony, at least for this period. Like you have a good balance between those two, which is great. And then Gemini and Gemini rising. So Venus is in your 11th house, and the 11th house is associated with groups, large groups. So what we're doing right now, that's an 11th house type of action, like meeting people from all around the world, getting to know each other. That's very 11th house. And so with Venus there, that's kind of sort of the energy. And Gemini is a sign, it's a mutable air sign. So it loves networking already. Well, at least depending on where your sun is in your chart. And so it's a time for connection, a time for connection on a deep level, because the Venus actually naturally rules your 12th house. And the 12th house is about our subconscious and our psyche. And so it's about connecting with people so that you can elevate. And so again, any Geminis in here, what you're doing right now is perfect for this energy. Taurus and Taurus rising. Venus is also the ruler of your sign, and it's currently in your 12th house with the sun. And now the 12th house, like I said, is about going inward. It's about being deep and reflective. And so right now you're gearing up. It's almost like you're on the brink of something. And I think a lot of Taurus dominant people might feel like they're kind of in the they're in the lab, they're cooking up something. They're not ready to quite introduce it yet, but they're working on something so that next month, when this energy kind of enters into your sign, you'll be ready to kind of announce and reveal and go full speed ahead. So even though I said we're all about action, right? It's how we take action that's different. So action is still working on something, even if it's not visible to others. That's still action. But whether you're ready to introduce it, that's another thing. So I feel like Taurus is kind of in that I'm getting ready to introduce something new into my life phase. And then
Yay.
Aries rising, happy birthday for all the Aries people. So Aries, Venus is in your first house, the sun is in your first house, and Venus rules your second house of money and it rules your seventh house of partnership. So those are kind of the two areas that are being highlighted. When Venus is in your sign, and by the way, Aries is considered, the sun is considered to be exalted in Aries. And when a planet is in its exaltation, it's like a place where it's highly esteemed. It's a special place for it to be. So a lot of Aries, they have bold personalities. They're not afraid to kind of speak up. They have this kind of action oriented thing about them. And so when the sun is in the first house and Venus is where it can make you be more attractive when it's in the first. So right now it's time for Aries. It's like all systems go, lean into anything that you want to accomplish. Make sure to ask for what you're worth when it comes to like money, or if you're wanting a raise in your job, like now's the time to like act for it. You'll actually be more charming with Venus there helping you. And your partnerships have the chance to improve. And actually the full moon for you on Sunday is about partnerships. So that's all the 12 signs. I feel like it's really good for
Wow, that
everyone.
was like amazing. I didn't even put you on a time. You didn't even have a timeline on that. That was amazing. So Cynthia missed the Sagittarius. I think you can watch the recording, you guys. We did go through Sag, and I'm a Sag as well. But in general, Tamari, are you, so on the full moon, this full moon, what would you say would be a good ritual or a good thing for people to do to really harness this energy and really bring it into, this action oriented, like moving into action sort of
I
time?
love that. I actually feel like Sunday's full moon is about release. And I'm actually a part of a virtual retreat on Sunday. I don't know if anyone's interested. You can let me know and I can drop the link in. And because it's a full moon and the moon is actually, the sun is next to Chiron, and Chiron is about our wounds, our childhood wounds, things that really hurt us that we need to overcome and create a strength from, because Chiron was a healer. And so to me, Sunday's full moon is about release.
Mhm.
And so full moons are always about release anyway. And so it's a double emphasis on that. So I would do rituals associated with release. So there's all kinds of things you can do. You can literally write a letter to your old self,
Mhm.
and say, thank you for serving me up until this point, but I no longer need your services. I'm ready to, escalate. And however you want to write it to yourself, write
Mhm.
that letter, say a prayer, and then you can either bury it. I like to bury it. Burning seems a little dramatic for this ritual, but I think burying it somewhere close to you is good, because it's a reminder of where you came from and your foundation. And then I'm going to actually paste the tickets there where you can get the retreat tickets. That's one ritual. Another ritual would be to write a list of, like I was talking about, people sometimes not fitting in with your energy, writing a letter to a certain person that you feel like maybe they've served you up until this point, but they no longer do, and do the same type of ritual. It's a good time to do a guided meditation about release, which you can find those on YouTube. Um,
Absolutely.
I love your sound bowls. I feel like that's like the perfect thing to do on Sunday. And also, actually go and stand in the light of the moon
Yeah.
on the night. Go and stand there, even if it's just 10 minutes. You can go outside and meditate in the light of the moon and ask to release things that no longer serve you. Say that you're ready for the next cycle and that you're going to move on. I think it's and the ritual can come to you. I feel like a lot of times we go to other people for rituals, but for me, I do what my spirit calls and tells me
Yeah.
to do. We're all intuitive, so
Yeah.
I think do that.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you, Tamari. And for me, one thing I do usually on the full moon is I'll take a long salt bath. Where I'll use Epsom salt as well as some of the Himalayan salt, and I'll use some essential oils. And then I clean my own energy field with that. And then I also I've been keeping journals since I was about 6 years old. And so there were a couple periods of my life that were really intense and negative and dark. And so I've been taking a page out of those and putting it in my little cauldron. And what I like to do is when I burn something like that, I like to take the ashes and put it in water that's moving away from me later. So so anytime you want to release something, it's really nice too, because our subconscious, our unconscious really only understands symbols, not really words or anything. So when you see something leave and move away from you, it's also really nice because the subconscious is like, oh, it's gone. And it's just, and so it is. And so, and cleansing our energy field also is really wonderful. And I have been known to put the ashes down my bath water when I haven't been able to get to a stream or an ocean. So I'll put the little ashes in as the water is draining. And as long as they're, nice and powdery, they go right down the drain, no problem whatsoever, and they move away from you. So those are also things we can do. So everyone, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I love that you mentioned the old journals because I feel like I hold on to that stuff sometimes. And when I go and I read it, I don't even relate to that person. And I think it's okay to let that go. Like, you don't need to hold on. I mean, my Taurus son wants to hold on to everything.
I know.
So I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's also, I've been doing a lot of shadow work going in and really absorbing, which our book club's about shadow work that's coming up. But it's really a matter of too of loving that shadow. The more we love it, the more it integrates and the more it heals. So Tamari, drop in your website for readings. If anybody would like to have a private reading with Tamari, we highly support her. And there it is. That was fast. Did you do it that fast?
Yeah, I just typed it. I'm a pretty fast typer.
Okay, good. And so I highly recommend Tamari as a reader. And all of you, I just want you to know that these circles are, we're here to connect you to yourselves. We're here to connect you to your global community of Tea Sisters. And we are here, not to necessarily make you do anything, but to give you the opportunity and the invitation to take time for yourself and to know that you are so worthy of this time. You are so worthy of the love. And so I'm going to close the circle. You can see I've drank almost the whole pot of Happy Heart next month's tea. I'm cheating. And I am, and thank you, because I realized my ops manager took today off and I didn't know why. And today's his birthday. And I was like, wait, Justin's an Aries and he took today off. Why didn't he tell us? Anyway, so happy birthday to Justin, who makes sure you all get your tea packaged correctly. So with this, I want us to close our circle. I want to send each of you on your way with a full heart, knowing that you are able through the breath to fill it yourself so that your cup may be so full that it spills over, and that you have more of you to share, more of you to celebrate, more of you to speak into the world, and know that each word that comes from your mouth is a vibratory call, and the universe will respond with an answer. So everything that you are speaking, ensure you want the cosmos and the universe and your day and your reality and your friends and your self to respond with the answer. So ask the best questions possible. Speak words not of suffering, but of possibility. And so it is, and so shall it be. All right, you all. Thank you. We will see you next Monday. Thank you, Tamari, Sunshine. Everything about you is just wonderful.
Oh, I feel the same about you.
And seriously, your books, you're coming over someday to help me with mine. Anyway, okay. Love you all. Thank you. Thank you. See you next week. Bye, darling.